Okay, starting on hole one to do a F5 flyover for info. So I'm just gonna fly up here and see if I can switch my mouse. There we go. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So the the right side where you've got the fescue, I'm guessing is going to be for the deep rough, which it should play like kind of a deep rough, um, like over in here where I'm dragging my cursor around. The only thing is, it's not really fescue per se under there. It's kind of like dirt, like and roots. So um, yeah, it's not fescue. And then if you go back onto this left side here, this is all fescue in here. That's actually really accurate. But again, getting into these group of trees, I think there might be even more trees on the left here. Like it's kind of a tighter grouping. There is a little spot here that yeah looks you have a little bit of an escape. But I think there's a little bit more clustering of trees in this area, going all the way up to about maybe about here. Then there are trees in here. Like definitely, I think the trees are a lot thicker and definitely cover a lot more of that area. Um, in that little chute there, there's actually like standing from the T, this 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 tree here and these trees here. It makes it look like from the T that you got to go through field goals. It's actually quite a hard shot. But if you pull it off, you end up with your ball down into here somewhere and have a pretty short approach on a par five. But to get through the gap, it's a very tight gap. I would be guessing at most 25 to 30 yards. This looks all good. Go back a little bit. Yeah, these these trees here might be a little bit more over in this area here. Um, because I know that they play a factor on most people's approaches if they hit it off to the right there. Let me just grab a seat because my back is completely screwed. I tried to hit some balls earlier to go through it, but it's just not worth the pain. Okay, so that's looking good. So I don't know, like I wish I could get out to the course and compare, which I will do, and then I can take a good comparison to see where these trees are in relation to the angle to the green. I'm trying to remember like how close they are off to the cart path, but so far looks really good for the most part. Tee box looks great. Yeah. I don't know if you're able in the game to use blackberry thicket for one of the trees, but all of this kind of along the fence perimeter is like kind of all blackberry. Um, I don't know if that's possible though. Definitely looks good in there. These trees here, so these trees beside this green on number three there, kind of right of the tee box, these are actually all very, very, very thick cedars. Um, and to be honest, like if you go in them, you can't really generally get out of them, like let alone find your ball a lot of the time. So um, and there's quite a few of those types of grouping of cedars on this course, and I don't know how you would design for it because they literally sit right on the ground. So I guess you could put them as deep rough, um, basically everything underneath the branches of those cedars. Um, yeah, I don't know how else to go. Again, like come down the right side here, the under these trees where you've got all fescue and deep rough. It is deep rough in the sense where it's all dirt and roots and stuff. Very loose dirt too, so that's why it plays kind of like deep rough. Like occasionally you'll have a clean line. you'll have a clean line and you can actually get out fairly easily. But the majority of the time, like you're in trouble. Bunker looks good. Um, there is actually a little bit of fescue under these ones. I don't think the fescue comes out so far here. It's just kind of like a little bit longer grass. Um, and then, yeah, those look good. Again, though, these are trees that you're yeah, that tons of colliders in them because you really can't. You can get your ball and you can get under there so you can punch it out, kind of thing. But you got to hit a punch shot. Fescue over on the left looks good. Um, I like even how on your satellite imaging you have all the drain from the course. That looks pretty cool, actually. Fescue in behind there, definitely. This is all like fescue, blackberry thicket, and just crap. Not a fun place to hit your ball to if you go over the green. I'll have to test this area out here when play because there's a big like mound here and then a downslope kind of coming from here across there. So it's actually a pretty cool feature, especially when they put the pin up at the front because it's almost impossible to get your ball to that pin. It just rolls down over into the middle of the green with a good shot. Okay, let's fly over to follow the cart path over to part 5. Okay, that's looking good. Yep. Just for a little like aesthetic purposes, there are benches and ball washers here, kind of stuff, um, hole signs and all that. So let's move this over so it's centered with the tee box. There we go. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Yeah, I really like the look of that. That definitely looks pretty bang on for what the tee shot looks like. Let's go fly over here. Um, this kind of grouping of trees actually has like some, they're a little bit lower cut and have some fescue underneath them actually. Again, this stuff's not fescue on the right here, like on the other hole coming from the other way. It's more like dirt, roots and stuff, especially from this whole area. Like there's nothing that grows in there except for dirt and roots, just because there's no sunlight that actually gets in there. You can punch a shot out of there, but um, for the purpose of the game, I'd like to see it as deep rough simply because if it's not deep rough, it's just there's no penalty. Like there's no punishment for going in there in the sim game, um, which I think there should be. So flying up here, this is looking all pretty good. So this is what I was talking about. This is actually a pond. So this isn't fescue. It might look like it on the satellite image, but there's about a yard to 2 yards of fescue. And then the middle is actually a good concentration of water. And this is all penalty area. And the creek actually runs underneath kind of and goes over to that other one pond. And then there's another stream that goes over to the par 3 section there that again is same. It's like a yard or two of fescue on the perimeter and water in the middle. Green and the green cut looks fantastic. Again, bench kind of here, ball washer kind of stuff. Um, so yeah, so this is the area here. This is all water. It's a hazard. A lot of people hit their balls into that. Approach looks fantastic. Um, there's a little bit more trees that over up on this here by that tee box kind of block out a little bit of that tee. Like you can see it, but it's like you only see maybe half of it on this line. But pretty good. Um, Again, there's a ball washer. I think it's here actually on this one. There's actually right here a ladder, like a stair step ladder that people have to walk up to look down the hole to see if it's safe to hit. Um, this is the hole I was telling you about. They did quite a bit of renovations. So this one needs a lot of work in terms of tree placement from how this is the old design. So there's actually now trees that basically run all the way from here, then around kind of this area to about here, like a very long section of trees to stop people from slicing it potentially out of the course and hitting people. And then you don't get a much of a visual of the ladies' tees from here. This is correct here. That looks good. And then down here, what they've done is this tree here, right on the corner, they've kind of removed it out. So I'll fly down there. Just quickly check. Yeah, right side looks good. Just behind all these trees, actually going to the fence of the perimeter, that is like long fescue. Like that's like 3 foot fescue. Just a heads up. That stuff's nasty. So yeah, this tree is being cleared out, and there's now more of an opening here. Even this tree might have been taken out here, up here, just to because they changed the kind of the shape of the hole by adding all those trees coming down here. Um, they've changed the design of the hole, so they've taken some of these trees out on the left here, and now this is kind of an open area. Fence is just a chain link fence. I don't know if that matters for the designing purpose, but it's not like an actual fence, like nice looking one like that. But if you want to make Burnaby pretty, that's cool. Bunker looks good. Bunker looks good. There's a big false front here, so I'll have to test that out. Generally, if you don't hit this green, it's not bouncing up there. It's going to hit here, stop, and come back to about here, depending on how soft it is that day. This area in here is all fescue and stuff underneath that, mixed with some dirt. Um, so here, ball washer, stuff like that. Let's fly over here. Let's go down a little bit. Oh, that's too fast. Okay. Yep, looks good. Again, I still have to go see if you see that much of the sand from this tee box. Um, Especially the one on the left. Like I don't recall being able to see really any sand from the tee itself. Maybe I'm not low enough. Let's go. Oops. Oh shit. Is that on the ground? Yeah, that's where it goes. Yeah, so this is on the ground and I still see sand. This one's better. Like that's kind of pretty darn close. You see just the tiniest bit. But this one I don't remember seeing any sand. Maybe somebody who's really tall could see the back of it, but uh-oh. Yeah, so the back of it, but overall, man, that looks just bang on good. Oh, this area, right of the cart path from here to here, is just all deep rough. This is all just shit, like conditions. Like it's soft, long, 5 to 10 inch grass. Not really fescue per se, but it's pretty gnarly in there. You miss over there, you gotta hit a pretty good shot. So that should be deep rough. You can still get up and down, but it should be deep rough. And in this game, I mean, realistically, the deep rough from height is not really a hazard for most. I wish it was. Let's go down, back up a bit. Let's go to the blues. Yeah, that looks really good. Now the tree, there's a big tree here, and it's just over the cart path. I think it's this one you have. Let me see. Fly up there. Let's fly a bit higher. Yeah. So that's right. Sorry, it just looked weird from the tee. So that tree is a lot more visually imposing. I don't know how to explain that. Maybe just a touch bushier. So yeah, but it looks pretty good. It's pretty close. I also know you're limited in terms of like the trees that you can use, so that's a big deal. This area looks really good. This is actually all kind of fescue kind of sporadically in between these trees, kind of going all the way from this whole section. Here, let's back it up a bit so it's easier to see. Like kind of all of this, it's kind of like fescue sporadically in those trees. Um, Underneath these trees, same thing. It's like all deep rough in here. You can't really play your ball under all of these trees here, even coming from the other whole lake there. But it's not fescue. It's like that dirt crap roots, like very just you can't hit shots out of there. This looks very nice. I like the coloring of the grass. Um, Green looks fantastic. Yeah, like the little ridge there. That's perfect. So also I can see, we'll go over it when I get to the par 5 16th, but coming down here, this is all a creek. This is all a penalty area. And same with over here, there's a creek that runs through here, comes across through here. So runs in front of the tee box here like this, down here, and into the gorge and the canyon. That's right of number 8. So, but we'll fly over there and show you. So there's a bridge here, kind of like a culvert. So you cross right here. This is where the creek would come through, and you can see water. Like it's a mini waterfall that's coming down here. So it's coming and it drops off into a waterfall here, comes through here, and then you can't really see it in the canyon. You have to climb down in there. But there's definitely a stream that runs through there, a good running stream. Okay, so fly over to number 8. Where am I? It's 18. Where am I now? Oh, okay. So let's go back up into the sky. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so all in these trees, this is where the creek runs again underneath another culvert of this cart path. No waterfall here, only on that other one there. And there's definitely water you can see in here, with like again a yard of fescue on the perimeter with a stream running right down the middle. The satellite imaging and why you're maybe not seeing it is because these might have been taken in the dead of summer during a drought or something. But generally there's water in there. Okay. This is the practice facility. That's the putting green. This is the chipping facility. I don't know if you're able to put little pins in there and make it a practice facility. So like when you go to the range, you can also go here to practice on your chipping. Because honestly, like it's so big and such a fantastic feature to work on your short game. It would be so cool if you were able to somehow add it into the game, or onto the design where I myself and others could just go there just to practice their chipping, because it's an amazing little chipping facility. This looks good. The trees here are tighter to this hill here, like that comes off the bank. And actually, if you go back on this corner, let's go back. So on this corner, there's a kind of a single big tree with an opening around here. So sometimes there's this big tree here that you've got pretty high. It'll stop you from going out into the hazard. And just a heads up, this whole right side is a red stake penalty hazard. So anything right that goes into these trees is a penalty. It's not even deep rough. Well, you can play it as deep rough, but it's not play it as you lie. It's penalty. You take your drop appropriately. 2 clubs, no closer to the hole, point of entry. But there's a big tree that saves you sometimes from going into that hazard right here. And then there's a little opening here that you can hit your shot. You'd have to slice one, because when you get over there, you have like no clear shot. You might occasionally, if you're just over on this, just the left of the tree or under the left side of it, you might see the left edge of the green. That's it. Under here again on the left, there's a grouping of trees that's much closer to this fairway in terms of how it plays. Like these trunks should be over like a yard off this fairway. So like, they're definitely in play and a factor if you hit your shot to the left. This looks pretty good. The trees in here on the left are actually like, they're not as thick. The foliage, like the actual like the greenery, is not as dense as it is here. It's you can kind of see into there. Like so, for example, if I'm walking down this fairway, I can see the seventh hole through the trees, where I can't see anything through these. But I would be able to actually see through those trees to the next hole on lots of areas. Um, Same with here. Now here there's a grouping of cedars, very dense cedars, like on that other hole I was saying, right of the number third hole and sorry, yeah, right of the third green hole and right of the second tee box, where if you hit them into these group, I think it's three or big four cedars here. If you hit them into there, like you can't hit it out, and you probably won't find your ball. Like if you do, it's pretty lucky. This looks all good. So coming down the right here, there is a pathway right about here that kind of comes through there, so you can go off to the next hole. This is kind of dirt, so this is all cleared out in dirt. Carts can go through there if they want, kind of stuff like that. Walkers. This one, there's no fescue here. It's all dirt and long grass. Definitely deep rough, but no dirt or anything. And if you're over right of these trees, yeah, it's pretty tough to get your ball back over into play onto the green. I mean, it's a brutally tough shot. Now, if I go over to the green, yeah, if you're looking over here, this little area here is where your walkway is to the next hole. This is where people dump their bags and go over to the next hole. And then some people, like myself, walkers, play the course a lot. We'll bring our bag right up here and we'll walk straight down through here. So there is like, that's what I mean, like, because it's like a dirt pathway that goes right through there. You can just go right on to the next hole from there, straight through. This is all fescue in here. That looks fantastic. Tee box shot looks amazing. Um, Again, all fescue. It looks good. That is fescue, bramble, blackberry thicket, just crap. Definitely don't want to go in there. Now these trees on the right, starting from about here of the corner of the apex going this way, and there's a cutout in there. That there's no fescue in there. Again, that's all dirt and root structure. So no fescue here. Here, there's not really any fescue. Like when you stare at this tree line, that's where the stream is, adjacent to the eighth hole. It's just trees at a downslope into the canyon. So you don't actually see really any fescue. You just see dense trees. Let's go here. Yeah, that looks good. This area here is not, so fescue is running left of the cart path of the maintenance trail. So this is a maintenance road. Everything left of that is fescue and shit. Right of this is just long rough. So this isn't actually deep rough like fescue. It's only deep rough in the sense where the lies are pretty sketchy and it's not a good place to be. But it's not long fescue like that. Back bunker looks fantastic. I don't think there's trees that, I don't know, maybe I'm having a complete memory lapse, but I don't recall trees being that big backing the ninth hole. I really don't remember that. Let's see. Definitely going to have to get out there and take some pictures from all these different vantages for you. Okay, so clubhouse is a lot fancier. So the actual pro shop is right here. This is the pro shop. It comes in from, you'd come in here, so I would say maybe about, back up a little bit, maybe from here, kind of like there's a building here, right in here. There's a washroom here for men, women's on the other side. Pro shop entrance is here. There's a room in the back for the ladies and men's clubs. Fountain looks good. Doesn't have any like bordering thing. It's just a fountain. Um, and the lake is actually called Sprint Lake. So this is the clubhouse, not clubhouse. This is the clubhouse slash restaurant, I guess you could call it. Definitely a lot fancier than the one there. And carts are never there actually. Carts are always kept over here. So if you go to this area where it's like beside the driving range, this is the maintenance building, and then there's the driving range building right here. Um, Beautiful driving range, beautiful maintenance room. This is where the carts are stored at night, and then they leave them parked out kind of in this vicinity just beside the pro shop for players to take carts. But there's no actual carts at the clubhouse there. Okay, and I will stop at the ninth hole for now and go through number 9 to 18 later. But so far, looking pretty amazing, and hopefully, I can get out as quick as possible and give you some really good photos of all those different areas. Thanks, man, for all the hard work. It's looking incredible. I can't wait to get out here and start playing it when my back feels better.